Welcome to the Wellness for Women show, where we talk about life, weight loss and everything in between. I'm Faye Caseman, founder of the AAA Way Life and Weight Loss Programme, and I'm here to help you put together the pieces of life and weight loss for one last time. This is an episode of the Wellness for Women show, filmed live in the free Facebook group. Hello, and welcome to the Wellness for Women show, episode number 76. Declutter your home, declutter your plate, how our house affects our eating habits. And today I'm going to be talking about the connection between our house environment and our eating habits. And in the membership, we work on fitting together the puzzle pieces of life and weight loss. So we don't just talk about food and movement like a diet would. We look at the whole package, the whole you. And a topic that tends to come up is about our house environments. I've been talking also to a couple of decluttering coaches, and the similarities in our work are quite fascinating. So believe it or not, tidying up can actually help with your weight loss. So let's explore today how decluttering could enhance your well-being and potentially lead on to you shedding maybe a couple of those extra pounds if that's what you're working on. So the role of decluttering or cluttering in our eating habits. So it might sound crazy, but it's true. A messy living space can be one of the potential saboteurs to your weight loss goals. When our surroundings are cluttered and chaotic, it can cause stress. It can make it harder for us to stick to our healthy eating habits. So how do you feel at the end of a busy day going home to your house environment? Does it fill you with joy? Does it fill you with dread? What thoughts, feelings, emotions, etc. come up when you come home? When you go to the kitchen to prepare a meal, can you lay your hand on the pots and pans or are last night's dishes all sitting on the side? And believe me, I am not judging here. My house is no show home, believe me. So I am speaking from personal experience here. There has been many a time where I've headed to the kitchen and everything's felt so much harder than it needed to be, and then risk that whole effort moment. I'll get a takeout just because of the fact that the kitchen was in a state of disarray. Also, maybe I've not had a clear plan, or there's been something out of date or missing ingredients, and like say, pots and pans not washed. So what ideally would be a peaceful meal then turns into one that's perhaps shoveled down because it took longer to prepare, and I got hungrier and hungrier because I perhaps had to do the dishes first before I could actually do the cooking. Or maybe I've gone into that meal stressed and annoyed with myself because I haven't looked after the house, or because I've had a difficult day, whatever it might be. And it's these everyday occurrences that can have more impact than we realize. So have you ever noticed how you feel when you are going into a meal due to your home environment? Can you think about the effect your home does have on your eating habits? And so I would encourage you to notice that this week, with love, of course, as you go about your day, and just notice any subtle triggers that could be impacting your overall well-being and eating habits. And when our environment is overwhelmed with visual distractions, it can be easy to lose sight of those health goals. It can be easier to start grabbing food rather than mindful, conscious eating in line with our genuine body needs. And our brains ultimately are continually clocking our environments. They're processing all they see. And so anything extra in our environment can add to just taking up more of that bandwidth, that brain width that we've got within a day. And I certainly know that I've stewed over the clutter in a room, or a disorganized space has left me feeling a bit triggered, stressed, overwhelmed, or uneasy, which has then led to me certainly seeking comfort in food. And so when we're surrounded by clutter, it can be harder to make mindful decisions about what we're consuming, but also just about whatever it is that we're doing in our day, whether it be working or writing a podcast show, whatever it might be, and our attentions then get scattered amidst that chaos, making it easier again for us to just go and grab whatever's readily available rather than making those intentional choices. So if you have been struggling with sticking to a healthier diet, or finding yourself reaching for food when you're not hungry, it could be worth taking a little look around your environment. And could working on decluttering actually be part of your solution, part of your jigsaw puzzle? So again, could creating an organized and visually appealing space free of those unnecessary distractions set you up for success so that you can make healthier choices without even realizing it? And if so, you won't be alone. I say many of us turn to food when life's roller coaster is spinning us around. And in episode 19, I would refer you back to that one. I covered the 5 E's of eating, but I am adding an extra E. So it's now going to be the 6 E's of eating, which is going to encompass environment. So whether that be home, our office, or when we're going out, each one of those could be at play. So if you want the list of the 6 E's of eating, let me know with the 6 E's and I will shoot you the list over. If you're in the membership, I will be adding it to episode 19 at some point over the weekend. And at the end of the day, all of these things, like I say, can come into play as we go about life. But today I want to deep dive into our home harmony as, and say, knowing and recognizing our personal triggers that lead us to turn to food, and developing that awareness means that we can find healthier ways to address and manage them. So, decluttering to promote healthy eating and overall well-being. So how do we get on top of our home environments? Just like weight loss, if it was that simple, we'd all be doing it already. So what are the barriers? What are your own unique personal barriers? I'm not going to lie. Living the dream for me would be having a chef, a gardener, and a cleaner, or some little magic fairy that could come and do it all for me. But at the end of the day, that's not life. It's a wish list so that I can have an easy life. But the reality is the cavalry is not coming anytime soon. And in my inner circle, and sometimes in the member group, we can have a natter about that interplay of our living accommodations and how we feel in general about ourselves. And some of the members are making great progress in this area. Some have taken courses, some have joined other memberships about decluttering. And there's also an accountability pod that's ongoing at the moment as well. But we can share ideas and we can find ways to share and make these brain hacks and our house hacks, so that we can all work on creating that happier, less stressful environment. Because at the end of the day, each one of us is unique. We all have our own unique triggers, our own unique issues, but yet we can come together and support each other to find out what's working for one person. It might work for us. We might get further ideas, all about just finding that balance in life and weight loss. And this is the beauty of the AAA weight method, as it can work for decluttering just as much as it can work for weight loss. And it really is a one-stop shop to changing your life. And so as a reminder, if you haven't caught one of the shows for a while, the AAA way is awareness, action, and accountability. Gathering, and so the first thing that I want to tell you about is how you can gather awareness about how your house environment can be impacting on your eating habits. And there's a lot that you can do with regards to this awareness phase of the cycle to figure out your triggers, how maybe a cluttered or messy environment may be impacting your well-being and eating habits. And this phase involves taking the time to just observe with love and curiosity, to observe and analyze your surroundings and how they perhaps are affecting your stress levels, your overall happiness, and how that's then showing up in your eating. So it's easy to start. You don't have to take a lot of time at all. You're already doing it unconsciously every time you go into a room. So it's just a case of bringing it to the surface where you can deal with it, rather than it just being this low level hum of annoyance that's kind of continually gnawing at your brain. Or maybe that's just me. It's about getting lovingly curious, paying attention to how those different areas of your home or your workspace might make you feel. So do you feel more stressed when there's a pile of papers scattered around, or when your kitchen counters are cluttered with dishes? Is it perhaps the fact that you can't find space in your living room to sit down and watch your favourite TV show? Whatever it might be, just notice what's coming up for you. And if you are a member of the Wellness for Women membership, you can capture all of this in your planner, as there is space to capture the things that you've noticed that might be impacting your eating. Plus, if you want to really deep dive, then I'm going to be adding a list of deeper methods, deeper ideas that you can try. So a sneaky peek of that would include things like you could undertake a home audit, or look at your kitchen layout, or assess how peaceful your dining space is, or have a look in your fridge and see whether it needs cleaning. Is everything that you actually want to be able to lay your hands on accessible? So many ideas I've got, and like I say, you'll be getting a big long list of things that you could consider trying. But whatever you choose, though, the key is to identify and address the factors that are coming up for you and impacting your personal eating habits and your personal journey. And again, by capturing those observations, you're going to then gain that better understanding of your patterns and triggers and how that's influencing your eating behavior. And of course, all that juicy awareness then means that we can start to go into the next phase of the cycle, which is taking action. So stepping into action in your house environment to improve your eating habits. And so I'd love to know what's coming up for you already as you are listening or watching this, if you're catching me on video. And as you're starting to think about your environment, how it might be impacting on your weight loss, your eating journey. I say, members, be sure to pop into the membership and leave a hashtag episode 76 with your ahas and wins. If you're not a member yet, come play. Where are you? Come over to the membership. It's only £9 a month. It's not a lot to come and get access to all this extra goodness. Or of course you can just leave a comment in the free Facebook group, because I just genuinely would love to hear from you. And so we're stepping into action. So awareness itself often can be enough for us to just start making changes naturally. But sometimes we need to give it a little nudge in our chosen direction. So if you imagine just that your home is this blank canvas upon which you can paint a picture of well-being and mindful eating. So once you've gathered that awareness of how your living space is impacting those eating habits, it's now time to start plotting your course for your own unique journey of transformation. And I talk about super sleuthing your weight loss. And so now you can also super sleuth your house too, examining every little nook and cranny for opportunities to create a nourishing and supportive environment that helps you to achieve your goals. And so the natural first step for this may be to look at your actual physical environment. So what might you need to change physically? So this might involve reorganizing your kitchen, ensuring that you've got fresh and nutritious foods that are readily accessible and not buried at the back of the fridge, making sure that your pots and pans are washed and easy reach. Maybe you need to explore the layout of your dining area. Perhaps you've got a dumping zone. Mine is the top and the bottom of the stairs, like a lot of people. And also my office. Maybe you need to spend time doing a deeper decluttering or organizing of your living space. Maybe you need to Marie Kondo the shit out of your wardrobe so that you start your day well with clothes in easy reach rather than living out of the clean wash basket, which I've also been there and done that one too. Who hasn't, right? But decluttering your home is just one part of it. It can also be about the mental and emotionals, not just the practicals. So how does the space feel to you? What kind of thoughts and feelings and emotion does it evoke for you? And so there might actually be some mind injury that needs to come up. So you might have particular items that you're struggling to let go of because they've got emotional meaning for you. And in which case you might, if you're in the membership, use my rewriting your story tool. Or you might look to work with either me as a coach or get peer support in the community about how you can actually work through these particular items or the associations that you've got with particular rooms. Maybe also as well, you might benefit from just making sure that you've at least got one safe space that you can nurture your emotional and mental well-being within, with somewhere with calming scents or beautiful visuals, some kind of decluttered sanctuary that you can just go to, whether that be before a meal or after a busy day, somewhere that's going to instantly help you to reduce your stress and your emotional levels. Somewhere maybe where you can incorporate daily self-care practices such as meditation, journaling, or gratitude practices about your home environment. So I know members have got journaling chairs, for example. Mine is the mini sofa that I've got in my bedroom, where I just take time to nurture my mind and my emotions and ultimately work on my overall well-being and trying to find that more balanced life. And maybe you need to up your joy factor and feed your soul, because again, we're working holistically here. So we're looking at mind, body and soul. So maybe you need to think about how you can bring more joy, more fulfillment into this process, whether that be setting yourself little challenges, bringing music or laughter into your environment when you're cooking or cleaning, something like that. And again, as you take these steps, as you take these action steps, consider how each facet of your environment is then connecting and contributing to that holistic well-being, remembering that these are all interconnected. So maybe you need a more organized kitchen to reduce food grabbing, maybe you need the safe haven to reduce stress, or maybe you do need a clutter-free dining area to enhance the enjoyment of your meals, promoting those healthier choices, or maybe you just need to clean the fridge. And again, these are things that can vary. So what works 1 week, 1 month, 1 year might change for you. So it's about having that toolbox of items that you can just dip in and out of, and those strategies. And that's again what the membership can offer. So again, let me help you explore this. Come in, seek support from the community, from me as a coach and mentor. The more we share our journeys, the more ideas and motivation we get as we witness others going through similar things, but yet in their own unique way. And remember, of course, to keep it simple and easy. Often we can make cleaning and decluttering some kind of big ass job that we don't want to do. But actually, you can do it in small bite-sized chunks. Like I say, I've been invited into an accountability pod with some of the members. We're just doing 10 minutes a day and then leaving each other little updates with regards to what we're doing. And we're making great progress. And so it doesn't have to be a chore. It can actually be an act of self-love. It can be an act of connection, because I'm then not only showing up for myself, but I'm then showing up for other people. And so we're connecting in every time we're leaving those updates. And it's also an opportunity to then practice self-compassion when things perhaps don't go to plan. And it's also a way of gaining personal empowerment, because then again, you're starting to create, you're starting to sculpt your own living space that aligns with your desires and your dreams. And in doing so, it's going to not only transform your relationship with food, but it's going to enhance your well-being and ultimately your life. All from a little bit of decluttering, right? But remember that Rome wasn't built in a day, so it will take a little bit of time to sort these things through, and that's okay. There is no one size fits all, and it is a marathon, not a sprint. The healing journey is not something that potentially will ever be over, because we always will have other things cropping up. So it is about learning to embrace that journey, as I've spoken about many a time before. And of course, I can help. I'm a life coach, I'm trainee belief coder. And of course, these things are all damn good and they will change your life. But you do also still need to find that little bit of time to start figuring things out and applying what you learn. So if you need any help on that, if you need any help finding out what those small intentional steps are, so that you can accumulate and build on that momentum, I've got you. You can check out your membership portal. Like I say, I'm going to drop a list as well, not only a list of different ways you can gather awareness, different ways you can take action, and also different ways that you can hold yourself accountable. But I'm also going to put together some journal prompts just to get you started on that awareness phase as well. But of course, gathering awareness, plotting our action steps, it's all fabulous, right? But no good if it's just going to stay on paper and it never gets done. So taking action is, of course, crucial in turning your dreams into reality. It's easy to get caught up in the planning and the preparing, but without actually implementing those plans, they remain just ideas. And that's where the importance of accountability, or getting shit done, comes into play. And to help you navigate that process, I've got a few tips and tricks up my sleeve. So the first is be clear on who you are and who you want to be. And if you're struggling with that, look out for my next upcoming Future You workshop, as you could work on this there, for example. So I'm recording this in on the 11th of October. My next one's on the 17th of October. But by the time this comes out on the podcast, that one will be over. But I am aiming to do them at least every couple of months. So watch out for that. And leave me a hashtag future if you're watching this somewhere down the line and you can't find the latest one. look at evaluating your goals with love. Break them down into smaller, manageable chunks that feels good. What's just the tiniest first step, and just go from there. So again, if I want to clean the kitchen, I use this example all the time. But if I think, oh, I've got to clean the kitchen, I don't want to do it. It feels like a big job. Whereas if I'm just like, oh, well, can I just go and do the dishwasher? It's absolutely fine. And so that leads me nicely into the leveraging the phrase, the amazing phrase that is, can I just? And this is a simple and very effective method. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, daunted by a big task or something you don't really want to do, then just ask yourself, can I just? And then whatever the next smallest step is. So if it was, like I say, going to clean the kitchen, it can feel like a gigantic task, but maybe you could just say, can I just clear that surface? Or can I just grab a bin bag? You just need something to get you over that initial hurdle of starting. But once you're started, which can sometimes feel like the hardest part, then usually it's easy to just keep the momentum going. And it's all about keeping it realistic, just like I advise you do for weight loss. Another tip is to channel your inner Mary Poppins. So to quote Disney, in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find your fun and snap, the job's a game. And so again, use your Mary Poppins. I like to make a game of things. I like to add fun where possible in whatever I do. So whether that be adding some music while I'm dancing around the kitchen, cleaning it, or playing a little game, or challenging myself to see how fast I could do something in just as a bit of sport, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So again, it doesn't have to be rocket science. It's just little ways in which to hack your brain and get things done. But again, it is then about being mindful of our brains. So again, if we think it's going to be hard, if we think it's going to be horrible, then it will be. Whereas if we think it's going to be fun and exciting, it will be. Because at the end of the day, it is our thoughts that lead to those emotions. So how can you make whatever it is that you've got to do fun? So of course you can work on your thoughts. You can use Mind Ninja. Again, I share plenty of techniques on that in the membership. Simplest way is to try and swap out your thoughts and see how you feel, and if that gets you going. You can make it more fun, like I say, maybe put that music on, a podcast, wink wink, or dress up in a tutu, because yeah, I have even done that to cheer myself up once. Whatever it takes in order to work it through. You could work on the principle of good enough. You might think that you need to be perfect, but we're not aiming for a show home here. That's not the point of this podcast. It's really more about showcasing the fact that you can just chip away and just do little bits and bobs just to help with your environment and to be able to show up around food more mindfully. So aiming for 80% or B- work, as it's sometimes called, sometimes is just more than enough to tip the balance. You could also do a positivity sandwich, so where you do something that you like doing, and then you do the thing that you're putting off, and then you do something that you enjoy again. So those are that's something that's used within positive psychology for positive association with the task to make it more enjoyable. And of course, celebrating those wins, trying to be creative in your tasks, finding ways to be playful, to be imaginative. But again, whatever you do, just choose to share it with others. So let's say whether that's in the membership, the free group, your friends, let us know what you're working on. Let us walk alongside you as you gather those wins, and let us pick you up if you're struggling. Because you don't have to go it alone. And that connection piece can again be so important. But ultimately, you have the ability to create a simple and effective roadmap for your life and well-being journey. And these little steps can certainly help you to bring yourself more joy, more balance, and more self-love. So those were my musings on decluttering, how it can be impacting the clutter on your plate, as it were. And so that is it for today. We've explored the fascinating connection between our house environments and our eating habits, discovered that tidying up can actually play a significant role in your weight loss journey, and that a cluttered environment can affect your eating habits and overall well-being, sometimes leading to unwanted extra poundage. And then we've also looked at how we can step into action, ways in which we could look to declutter your home, your eating habits with the AAA way, and then how we can actually get it done with accountability. So as usual, thank you very much for tuning in. Remember, if you are a member, to check out the complimentary resources in your membership, where you can turn this podcast into actual action and reality. And if you're not a member yet, make sure that you check out the description box or comments. But until next time, I will love you and leave you. Bye for now. Thanks for listening, and don't forget, if you want to boost your life and weight loss the AAA way, check out the relevant links for today's show in the description. Speak soon.